Premier Ford sort of making a little bit of excuses on that. He's saying that no matter what party is in charge, immigration is a tough file. It's tougher when you're stupid, and it is a little bit tougher to when you don't want to actually do the things you need to do to get immigration under control.
Calls for immigration. Immigration does not fall under the province. I do my best, but it falls under the federal government. And be very frank, no matter what party's in charge up there, immigration's a tough file up there. No one seems to be able to get it together, no matter if it was the Conservatives or Liberals, because there's a tremendous amount of people. Give you an example. Yesterday, when I was with Mayor Chow, just Toronto grew by 237,000 people in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, where do you put everyone? Where do you put the housing, the infrastructure, the roads, the highways? I go down to towns in the U.S. and big cities are 230,000, 300,000. It's like every year we're getting a city like the size of Boston, it seems. So we're doing everything we can to keep up with the immigration.
Yeah, well, we don't necessarily have the ability to keep up with the immigration. We have to stop it and curb it. And Quebec seems to be doing an okay job. I mean, the starting to anyway, by limiting the number of immigrants that they can receive. Yes, it's a federal issue, but the provinces have to push back. I mean, look what Saskatchewan and Alberta are doing in the energy sector. Why can't Doug Ford grow a spine and get a backbone and start doing something like that about the record immigration? Because Ontario receives over half of all immigration that comes into the entire country. And then they end up primarily in the GTA, in the Greater Toronto Area, and along the 401 corridor. So this tiny space of land is receiving the vast majority of immigration for the entire country, and it is increasingly overwhelming. So where, every so often Premier Ford shows like a little inkling of being a real conservative, and this is perhaps one of those very brief moments, but he just can't seem to get it over the line. Like, he's so close, but just not quite there.
Well, and again, the same as when he was talking about crime, right? Like when his car was almost stolen and we've got to keep these thugs in jail. I would like to remind him that he did everything he could do to sabotage the campaign of the Conservatives in the last election, making sure that Mark Carney got elected so that you can continue your immigration spiral. He says, well, it doesn't matter who's in Ottawa, nobody can get it right. Well, maybe we could try somebody different. Perhaps we could try. Like, I remember the Harper years, things were not this bad. Right? Like, things have really gone downhill in the last decade, especially if you remember the before times, if you were sort of an adult who remembered, well, like I was able to buy a house and have a little money in the bank, maybe even take a vacation and afford not no-name groceries at the same time. I think the Conservatives, by and large, did get immigration right. When Stephen Harper was in government, we had a skills-based immigration track. It was economy-based that, like, okay, maybe certain parts of the country, they aren't graduating welders fast enough and they need welders. And, we've got some welders from Eastern Europe and they've got, skills that are transferable to ours. We're going to plunk those Eastern European welders in northeastern Alberta where they'll hit the ground running. That's how we structured our immigration system. Now it's just a frickin' free-for-all. And a lot of the problems in Toronto stem from the fact that the Liberals changed the rules that you can claim refugee status at Pearson Airport. That's how they fixed that loophole, by the way, when they were coming across the border at Roxham Road. And they're like, we closed Roxham Road. Don't worry about it. But you can make X number of refugee claimants at Pearson. And so what happens when they make a claimant at Pearson? Well, like, off you go into the Greater Toronto Area and you've got all the refugees you can handle.
And here's where you sign up for all of your benefits and all of your free, your healthcare, your housing, your dental, your food allowance, your clothing allowance. Here's something for your housing allowance. It's out of control.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't disagree with Doug Ford that or immigration is a tough file, and Toronto is absorbing too many refugees and immigrants, and they can't keep up. But your buddy Mark is doing that, and you did everything you could to get him elected. So it feels like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth.
Which is, I mean, not uncommon for Premier of Ontario Doug Ford.
Do you agree with me? It is time to make Canada great again. And that is why we at Rebel News have teamed up with MCGA hats to introduce, well, the fashion sensation of 2025. Oh, and by the way, these beautiful hats, they are made in Canada. We don't rely on cheap imports coming over from China. So what are you waiting for, folks? Show your pride. This is the perfect thing for a patriot to wear, or maybe there's a patriot in your life that you would like to gift such a hat. Please go to mcgahats.ca. That's mcgahats.ca. Don't be shy about it. Wear this cap. Let everybody know you want to make Canada great again.